So you will get both long questions and short questions from these two topics, okay? So first and foremost, we will discuss about heart failure. So now, what is heart failure? So heart failure is also known as congestive cardiac failure. It is a progressive condition with poor prognosis. So what happens in heart failure? The heart is unable to pump, okay, at a rate sufficient to meet the metabolic needs of the bodies, okay. So it is mainly a common end stage form of many chronic heart diseases, okay. So now what will a heart failure patient present to you with? So the common signs and symptoms are shortness of breath, tiredness, then swelling of the legs. Then there will be ascites, that is accumulation of fluid in the abdominal cavity or the pleural cavity, along with a raised jugular venous pressure and enlarged liver, and with or without chest pain, okay. So now coming to the pathophysiology. So what happens in the case of heart failure? The cardiac workload increases or the cardiac function is compromised. So what will happen? There are three mechanisms which will happen, okay. So first is the Frank-Starling mechanism. What happens in the Frank-Starling mechanism? Here, due to the increased filling pressure of the heart will undergo a dilatation, okay. So because the heart will dilate, what will happen? The cardiac muscles, they will get stretched. So the actin myosin cross bridges which are present in the heart, they will also get stretched. So there will be a compensatory increased contractility and an increased stroke volume, okay. Then the second mechanism is myocardial adaptations. That is, the heart will undergo a few changes, like it has to adjust with the decreased rate, right? So the heart will undergo either hypertrophy or dilatation. So this is known as cardiac remodeling, okay? So this is how the heart will try to cope up with this failure. And the third one is activation of neurohumoral systems. So what will happen? Here the cardiac nerves, they will release norepinephrine. So in return, what will happen? This will cause an activation of the renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. Okay, so you all have read it in pharmacology, I suppose. So what will happen? Because of this, there will be activation of, so there will be ventricular remodeling hobe, ঠিক আছে, cardiac remodeling hobe. So that is why this will augment the heart pressure, the heart function, and regulate filling volumes and pressure, okay. So these three pathophysiological mechanisms will occur in the heart. So coming to the first thing, that is cardiac hypertrophy. So cardiac hypertrophy ke ki hoy? What is hypertrophy? Increase in cell size, okay. So this is due to pressure and volume overload. There will be increase in the cell size. There will be increased protein synthesis, which is enabling an assembly of additional sarcomeres and increasing the number of mitochondria, ঠিক আছে? So and the myocytes, the muscle, the cells, they will become hypertrophic. So you will have a increased nuclear size, okay? So this is how it will look. See, you can see these are the cardiac myocytes, and the nucleus, they are very much enlarged, okay? So this is how a hypertrophic cardiac muscle looks like, okay? So these molecular and cellular changes in hypertrophied heart that initially mediate enhanced function may themselves contribute to the development of heart failure, okay? So this can occur through an abnormal myocardial mechanism, then alteration of intracellular handling of calcium ions, myocyte apoptosis, and reprogramming of gene expression, which may occur in part through changes in expression of microRNA, which are the small non-coding RNAs that inhibit gene expression. So coming to the etiology, what are the causes that can lead to a heart failure? So first and foremost, there can be an intrinsic pump failure, মানে heart ই কাজ করছে না, ঠিক আছে? So what will happen? This is due to mainly the weakening of the ventricular muscles. So which can occur in ischemic heart diseases, myocarditis, cardiomyopathies, and rhythm disorders like atrial fibrillation and atrial flutter. So what is the difference between atrial fibrillation and flutter? Borecho? Okay, atrial flutter and fibrillation এর মধ্যে হচ্ছে in atrial flutter your heart rate will become regularly irregular, okay, and in fibrillation it is irregularly irregular, ঠিক আছে? Both are irregular heart rhythms, but in flutter the irregularity is regular, but in fibrillation the irregularity is irregular, okay? Next comes overload, which can be either pressure overload or volume overload. Pressure overload is caused by systemic and pulmonary hypertension. Then valvular heart diseases like mitral stenosis, aortic stenosis, pulmonary stenosis, and chronic lung diseases. Then volume overload will occur due to valvular insufficiency, then severe anemia, thyrotoxicosis, atriovenous shunts, and hypoxia due to lung diseases. And impaired filling kokhon hobe when there will be cardiac tamponade or constrictive pericarditis. Cardiac tamponade ki? There is sudden accumulation of fluid in between the heart and the pericardium. ঠিক আছে, তাই জন্য কি হবে, the heart will not be able to relax or contract, তাই তো, because of the fluid accumulation. So that is cardiac tamponade, okay? And constrictive pericarditis, you all know, due to infection there will be stiffening of the heart which will lead to মানে pump করতে পারবে না heart, ঠিক আছে তখন। So this is a schematic representation of the pathophysiologies which I discussed, which will lead to your heart failure, okay? So this image is given in your Robbins, so you all can go through this, okay? So now coming to the types of heart failure. So there are two types of heart failure. One is left heart failure, one is right heart failure, okay? Left-sided heart failure is most commonly caused by ischemic heart diseases, hypertension, aortic and mitral valvular diseases, and primary myocardial diseases. So morphologically, what all will you find in a case of left heart failure? So heart e ki changes hobe? In the heart, you will see that the left ventricle is hypertrophied and dilated. Then microscopical findings, they are very much non-specific, but as I told you all, there will be hypertrophy of the cardiac myocytes and interstitial fibrosis. And there will be impaired left ventricular function, which will cause a secondary dilatation of the left atrium and increased risk of atrial fibrillation. There will be stasis of blood, and because of this stasis, there will be formation of mural thrombi, okay? What all changes will you see in the lungs? There will be perivascular interstitial edema, that is in between the lobes, that is the lungs have lobes, no? In between the lobes, there will be accumulation of fluid. So it is known as interstitial edema. These are represented by three lines, that is the curly A, curly B, and curly C lines on the chest x-ray, okay? Then there will be progressive edematous widening of the alveolar septa, accumulation of edema fluid in the alveolar spaces, and there will be red cells and plasma proteins which will be extravasated, which will be taken up by the macrophages in the lungs. So these macrophages are known as heart failure cells, okay? This is an MCQ question where they can ask you, where do you find heart failure cells? So you have to tell it is lungs in case of a left-sided heart failure, okay? So this is a chest x-ray which is showing the curly A, curly B, and the curly C lines. As you can see, these are the horizontal lines which you are seeing, okay? Horizontal lines on the chest x-ray. These are the accumulation of fluid in the interlobar spaces, okay? So coming to types of left-sided failure. Now left-sided failure is further classified into a diastolic and a systolic failure. Systolic mane ki? What is systolic? Contraction. Diastolic? Relaxation, right? So systolic heart failure versus a diastolic heart failure. So in systolic heart failure, there will be inability of the heart to contract efficiently, okay? So in these patients, you will get a left ventricular ejection fraction of less than 40%, and approximately 2/3 of the heart failures are of systolic type. Okay, and diastolic heart failure ki hoy? There will be preserved ejection fraction, that is the ejection fraction will be more than 40%, and there will be impaired filling and relaxation of the heart. Okay, so next, coming to right-sided heart failure. So right-sided heart failure is most commonly caused by left-sided heart failure. Okay, so the causes of right heart failure will also be the causes of left heart failure. So now, what are the morphological findings in cases of right heart failure? So right heart failure and heart ki hobe, there will be only hypertrophy and dilation of the right atrium and the right ventricle. Okay, and in the liver, you will see congestion of the hepatic and portal vessels, which may produce pathological changes in the liver, spleen and GIT. So there will be congestive hepatomegaly. On gross, if you see the liver, there will be alternate brown and white spots. So it is known as nutmeg liver. So nutmeg liver কেমন দেখতে হয়? This is what a nutmeg liver looks like. Nutmeg মানে কি? হ্যাঁ, তো nutmeg liver এর মতো দেখতে হবে, ঠিক আছে? And there will be centrilobular necrosis, cardiac cirrhosis, congestive splenomegaly and chronic congestion and edema to the bowel wall. Now what do you see in case of pleural, pericardial and peritoneal spaces? There will be fluid accumulation. As I told you all in the beginning also, that there will be fluid accumulation in all the cavities, like the pleural cavity, the peritoneal cavity. And in the subcutaneous tissue ki hobe, patient will present with edema of the legs. So if a patient is bedridden, then he or she will present with presacral edema. Okay, that is in the sacral region there will be edema, and there will be edema of legs, especially in the ankle region and the pretibial region. And anasarca mane generalized edema, mane edema of legs, hands, everywhere. Okay, so now how will you manage a case of heart failure? Charidike fluid you have, so you have to take out that fluid, no? So what do you give to a patient? Diuretics. So you have to give diuretics to relieve the fluid overload, and you have to block the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone axis. So for that you have to give ACE inhibitors, that is angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. Okay, and you have to lower the adrenergic tone. As I told you all, the cardiac muscles will release norepinephrine, right? So tai jonno you have to give adrenergic blockers. Okay, beta 1 adrenergic blockers. So this is what you will, how you will like manage a patient with heart failure. Okay, so heart failure niye kono problem ache tomader? Okay, so you all might get a problem based question on heart failure. You have to come to a provisional diagnosis, and then further they can ask you the questions like what are the types, pathophysiology, all these things. Okay, etiology, you have to answer accordingly. Next, coming to cardiomyopathies. Okay, so cardiomyopathies are a heterogeneous group of diseases of the myocardium associated with mechanical or electrical dysfunction. Okay, so there will be ventricular hypertrophy or dilatation due to variety of causes, and there might be a sudden cardiac death in the patient. ঠিক আছে, cardiomyopathy patient can it can lead to a sudden cardiac death. Okay, so now classification. These cardiomyopathies, they are classified into 3 types, that is dilated cardiomyopathy, then hypertrophic cardiomyopathy and restrictive cardiomyopathy. So dilated cardiomyopathy is the most common cardiomyopathy which we see, and restrictive is the least common one. So coming to dilated cardiomyopathy. So cardiomyopathy te ki hoy? There will be dilatation and impaired contraction of the left ventricle and often the right ventricle. So it is characterized by morphologically and functionally by progressive cardiac dilatation and contractile, usually a concomitant hypertrophy. So remember, always it will come with systolic dysfunction. Okay, dilated cardiomyopathy always comes with a systolic dysfunction. ঠিক আছে? So left ventricular mass is increased, but the wall thickness is normal or reduced, because here there is a dilatation, the chamber is dilating, so the muscle wall will be normal or it will get reduced. Okay. So now pathogenesis. So by the time a case of dilated cardiomyopathy comes to you, it has progressed to a end stage disease. Okay. So the heart is dilated and poorly contractile, and increasingly some studies say that familial and genetic forms of DCM are recognized. Okay. So now what are the genetic influences? So as you have read in physiology, there is a gene called the TTN gene, which is, what does it do? টাইটিন পড়েছো তো তোমরা ফিজিওলজিতে? হ্যাঁ, ডিস্ট্রফিন, টাইটিন, এগুলো মনে নেই? হ্যাঁ, এগুলো সব ছিল ফিজিওলজি তোমাদের। Okay, so there will be a mutation in the titin gene, okay, which will cause a dilatation cardiomyopathy, or these are autosomal dominant inheritance pattern, okay, usually. Then comes deletion in mitochondrial genes, which will result in a defective oxidative phosphorylation. Then there can be a mutation of the beta oxidation of fatty acid. And in pediatric population, what will you see? You will see mitochondrial defects, okay? Then dystrophin gene. Dystrophin gene এর মিউটেশনে কি পেতাম আমরা? Physiology. What all dystrophies did you get in dystrophin gene? পরের লাইনেই লেখা ছিল, ঠিক আছে? So it is Duchenne or Becker's muscular dystrophy, okay? Both are different types of dystrophies. In these patients also, they will have a mutation in the dystrophin gene, and these patients will present to you with a dilatation cardiomyopathy, okay? Then coming to the next cause is myocarditis. In patients with myocarditis, these patients might progress to a dilated cardiomyopathy. Then viruses like Coxsackie B virus can cause a DCM. Then alcohol abuse patients can also come to you with a dilated cardiomyopathy. Then thiamine deficiency, that is vitamin B1 deficiency patients can also have a case called beriberi heart disease, which is dilated cardiomyopathy in patients with vitamin B1 deficiency. And a few chemotherapeutic drugs are there, like doxorubicin and tyrosine kinase inhibitors. These patients can also come to you with a dilated cardiomyopathy. Then in peripartum period of time, like in the postpartum, like females, they can also have a dilated cardiomyopathy. Then iron overload like hemochromatosis, okay. The iron toxicity patients can also come to you with a DCM, okay. Then supraphysiological stress and excessive catecholamines secretion. The excessive catecholamines কাদের থাকবে? যাদের tumors like pheochromocytoma or tumors that release epinephrine, okay. So these patients can also come to you with dilated cardiomyopathy. So these causes you have to remember, because the questions will be based on these causes, okay. So cocaine or vasopressors, patients who take cocaine, okay, drugs যেটা বলেছিলাম, toxin drugs and alcohol abuse. The flowchart which is showing dilated cardiomyopathy, like genetic factors, then viral infection, then alcohol abuse, these causes a myocardial dysfunction which will lead to a dilated cardiomyopathy. Now what are the clinical features? These patients are usually in the age group of 20 to 50. They will come with dyspnea. Dyspnea is difficulty in breathing. Then easy fatigability and poor exertional capacity. If they do some exertion, then only they will complain of shortness of breath. So at this stage, these patients have an ejection fraction of less than 25%. And death usually occurs from progressive cardiac failure or arrhythmias. So now morphologically what you will see, since the chamber has dilated, so the heart will become enlarged and heavy. And there will be mural thrombi, and if mitral regurgitation is present, it results from left ventricular chamber dilatation. Then the histological abnormalities in DCM are non-specific. Most of the muscles are hypertrophied with enlarged nuclei, which I discussed before. Then there will be interstitial and endocardial fibrosis. There will be subendocardial scars, and the severity of morphological changes may not reflect either the degree or dysfunction of the patient's prognosis. So this is a case of dilated cardiomyopathy. So this is a post-mortem heart, as you can see. So here you are seeing that the left ventricle is very much dilated and the muscle wall is thinned out, right? And these are the cardiac myocytes which are hypertrophied, and this blue which you are seeing, these are the interstitial fibrosis, which is more prominent in a Mason trichrome stain. So this is a Mason trichrome stain where the collagen is appearing blue, okay? So in dilated cardiomyopathy, this is just a summary of what I told you just now, and echocardiography is the investigation of choice. So what will you see in an echocardiography? You will see ventricular dilatation, normal or thinned out walls, and a low ejection fraction. And how will you treat these patients? These patients are usually treated with beta blockers, AC inhibitors, diuretics, and sodium restriction. Okay, it is more or less same as heart failure. Okay, these DCM patients will also present to you with heart failure only. So first you have to do symptomatic management, and others, like if sudden cardiac death happens, then so nothing can be done. So next comes hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. So what happens in hypertrophic cardiomyopathy? Here there will be myocardial hypertrophy, poorly compliant left ventricular myocardium leading to a abnormal diastolic filling. So what I told you, DCM comes with systolic dysfunction, right? But in hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, they will come with diastolic dysfunction, okay? And it is a leading cause of left ventricular hypertrophy. So the hypertrophy may be generalized, or they might be confined largely to the interventricular septum. So septal hypertrophy causes left ventricular outflow tract obstruction. Like the septum becomes so hypertrophied that it will not let the blood to flow out from the left ventricle. It will go and compress on the aorta, okay? Then the heart is thick-walled, heavy, and hypercontracting because of hypertrophy. And it comes with primarily diastolic dysfunction, as I told you all. Now pathogenesis, mainly it is autosomal dominant, and it is a mutation in the proteins which encode for the sarcomeric proteins, okay? And these mutations are mainly seen in the beta myosin heavy chains and genes coding for cardiac TNT, alpha tropomyosin, and myosin binding protein C. Clinical features ki hobe, patients will come with impaired diastolic filling, then exertional dyspnea, systolic ejection murmur, and major clinical problems in hypertrophic cardiomyopathy are atrial fibrillation, mural thrombus formation, which will lead to embolization and possibly a stroke, and finally sudden death. So morphologically, again you will see a hypertrophied heart which will be asymmetrical, okay? And the most common histological features of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy will be massive myocyte hypertrophy and haphazard arrangement of these myocytes with interstitial and replacement fibrosis. So this is again a postmortem case where you can see there is a hypertrophy of the ventricular wall and a septal hypertrophy. So can you see that this septum is so much hypertrophied, because of which the ventricular cavity has become narrowed, okay? So this is a case of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. So here you can see on H&E stain, these are the haphazardly arranged cardiac myocytes and with an increased nuclear size. This is again a postmortem case where you can see on the echocardiography there is a hypertrophied muscle. Because of this left ventricular hypertrophy, you can see that there is the left ventricle has almost been obstructed, okay? So this is a cut section which is showing a thickened interventricular septum and a thickened left ventricle wall. And these are the haphazardly arranged muscle fibers with fibrosis in between. Okay, so these are the interstitial fibrosis. Again, this is a trichrome stain showing collagen in blue. So this is how you will treat these patients. So these patients usually first is symptomatic treatment. You can give them beta blockers or calcium channel blockers. Then ICD therapy. ICD therapy is an implantable cardioverter defibrillator, okay, that you can implant in these patients. And or else you can do a genetic therapy or a muscle modulator, okay. So this is how you can treat a patient with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Then coming to the third and the least common type, which is restrictive cardiomyopathy. It is primary decrease in the ventricular compliance. There will be impaired ventricular filling during the diastole. So dilated cardiomyopathy presents with systolic dysfunction, and hypertrophic and restrictive cardiomyopathy both will present with a diastolic dysfunction. So here what will happen? The filling is impaired because the ventricles, they become stiff. As the name suggests, it is restrictive cardiomyopathy, okay. So the ventricles will become stiff. This leads to a high atrial pressure and atrial hypertrophy, and dilation and later atrial fibrillation. And amyloidosis is the most common cause in UK. So there will be deposition of amyloids, okay. So now restrictive cardiomyopathy also can be seen in cases of radiation fibrosis, like patients who are undergoing radiation therapy. Those patients also can undergo restrictive cardiomyopathy because the heart chambers, they become fibrosed, okay. And then amyloidosis, as I told you all, then sarcoidosis, metastatic tumors, and deposition of other metabolites which can be due to inborn errors of metabolism. So coming to the morphology, the morphological features are not distinctive, but the ventricles are approximately normal in size, but they are stiff. So there will be biatrial, both the atrial cavities, they will be dilated because the ventricles are not being able to pump blood to the lungs or the heart. So ventricles will try to contract, the blood will backflow to the atrium. So atrium filling pressure is increasing, so it will dilate. So both the atria cavity, they will dilate. So now microscopically, there will be again diffuse interstitial fibrosis. Myocardial biopsy can be done. If patient is having amyloidosis, you all will see deposition of amyloid in the cardiac muscles. So as you can see, these eosinophilic material which you are seeing, see previously you were seeing what are the cardiomyocytes look like. So these are not looking like cardiomyocytes, right? So these eosinophilic deposits which are seen in between few myocytes, they are the amyloid deposits. And amyloid, you know what is the special stain we use? If you little bit alert, then you all can understand which special stain we use. And what? Congo red, because the next image is showing Congo red stain. So Congo red stain, usually we see it under polarizing microscopy. So if amyloid is there, it will give an apple green birefringes. Always remember this term, okay, this phrase, apple green birefringes on a polarized microscopy is typical of amyloid, okay. So you can see this green color, okay. So all this is apple green birefringence which is given by the amyloid, okay. So this is amyloid, and these white which you are seeing, these are the fibrosis, okay. So this is a case of amyloidosis of heart which is leading to restrictive cardiomyopathy. So this is a diagram showing all the types of cardiomyopathies. This is a normal heart as it looks like. Then this is a dilated cardiomyopathy where you can see that the left ventricle and right ventricle is very much dilated with thinned out walls, because of which there is a left atrial dilatation as well. In hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, what you are seeing? The left ventricle and the right ventricle, the walls of the heart are very much thickened, okay, hypertrophied. And in case of restrictive cardiomyopathy, there will be no hypertrophy. The ventricular wall will only be stiff, because of which there will be atrial dilatation. As you can see that the atrium is dilated, okay. So to summarize, cardiomyopathy is an intrinsic cardiac muscle disease And what are the types of cardiomyopathy which I told you all? Dilated, hypertrophic and restrictive, out of which dilated is the most common, restrictive is the least common. Then dilated cardiomyopathy will present to you with systolic dysfunction, and the other two will be diastolic dysfunction. And dilated cardiomyopathy, few causes. First is genetics, then alcohol abuse, cocaine, then viral infections. These lead to dilated cardiomyopathy. Then hypertrophic cardiomyopathy will come to you with diastolic dysfunction, and these will be mostly autosomal dominant mutations. Most commonly beta myosin heavy chain. Then restrictive cardiomyopathy, it results in stiff non-compliant myocardium, which is mainly due to, I told you all, deposition of amyloid. Okay. Okay, so now few problem-based questions I will tell you all, so that you all can come to a diagnosis. If you all can diagnose, then the other questions also you all will be able to understand. Okay. So someone tell me what will be the diagnosis for this case. A 65-year-old patient with history of high blood pressure and diabetes presents to the clinic with shortness of breath, fatigue and swelling of the legs. Patient denies of chest pain but complains of waking up at night with shortness of breath. What is your provisional diagnosis? Heart failure. Very good. So these are the highlighting points which will tell you or lead you to the diagnosis. Okay, so this is a patient coming to you with heart failure. Okay, so next question, someone get up and read. Okay, read and answer. A 45-year-old male present to you with again shortness of breath, fatigue and swelling of the legs. Patient has a history which has a poorly controlled hypertension and family history of heart failure. Echo te ki power ache? There will be LVF of 30% and ventricular dilatation. So, what is the diagnosis? Dilated, yes, dilated cardiomyopathy. The biggest hint is ventricular dilatation and LVEF of less than 30%, okay? So, these are the highlighting points and your diagnosis will be a dilated cardiomyopathy. Next question, 60-year-old female with history of alcohol abuse presents to you with chest pain, palpitation then dizziness. ECG shows sinus tachycardia and widened QRS complex. So, what is your provisional diagnosis? Alcohol abuse there ki hai? Yes. So this is a case of dilated cardiomyopathy. Okay. Then next one, a 30-year-old female presents with symptoms of heart failure after recently experiencing a viral infection. LVF is 35%. Provisional diagnosis? Dilated cardiomyopathy. Kano? Virus infection. Viral kon virus? Coxsackie B virus. Okay. So now you all know how the questions will be coming to you. Okay. So the next one is a 25-year-old male presents with chest pain, shortness of breath during exercise. He has a family history of sudden cardiac death in his uncle. His physical examination reveals a systolic murmur. So what is your provisional diagnosis? Systolic murmur ache kintu. Yes, correct. It is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Okay. Then next one, a 62-year-old male presents with progressive shortness of breath, fatigue and swelling in the lower extremities. He has a known history of hypertension and diabetes. Echo reveals normal left ventricular size and function but significant diastolic dysfunction and thickened and stiff appearing myocardium. A prominent J wave is observed on his ECG. He also has a chest x-ray showing cardiomegaly. What is your provisional diagnosis? Restrictive cardiomyopathy. Okay. So this is a case of restrictive cardiomyopathy. Now just for your knowledge, this is how a normal ECG looks like. You have the P, you have the Q, you have the R, you have the S and the T waves. Okay. So this is the QRS complex which we talk about. So J wave kemon dekhte hobe? This is how a J wave looks like, which is seen in patients with restrictive cardiomyopathy. Okay. So you all got it?